What's going on, YouTube, and welcome into episode 8 of the LakeShow Flow. I'm Gio with my co-host Joe.
What's up, y'all?
So tonight we get another overtime win as the Lakers defeat the Thunder 119-112. And let's go over some key performers in that one. So LeBron James, once again playing a lot of minutes, 43 minutes, but he scored 28 points, 12 assists, 14 rebounds, another triple-double back-to-back. Dennis Schroeder had 19 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. Markieff Morris, who got the start over Kuz, 6 points, 4 rebounds, so nothing too impressive. Marc Gasol, being Marc Gasol, 2 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. And KCP, 8 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. But off the bench, this is the key performers in this one. Montrezl Harrell had 21 points off the bench, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. Wesley Matthews actually looked good this game, 16 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. And then Kuz, who should have been the starter, 11 points, 2 assists, and 10 rebounds.
And with OKC, we had Shea with 29 points and 10 assists. We had Diallo with 20 points and 11 rebounds. We had Baisley with 21 points and 16 rebounds. And you had Horford with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And you had Dort with 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. And off their bench, they had Justin Jackson with 14 points and 4 rebounds. So all around, just good play for OKC tonight.
Yeah, so going in this game, I wanted to see what Kuz could do because he usually shines without AD. So early on, we were kind of disappointed because
I was excited. I was like, man, I could see Kuz play more, but
yeah. So we see
Vogel.
Chief Keef in the game, and we'll get into Vogel a lot in this game. But yeah. So we start off in the quarter. Schroeder was aggressive early, which was good to see because it's his former team. You want to see him, attack. But then Baisley for them was like their guy.
On fire, bro. Baisley had 2 threes, 2 baskets, and 2 free throws. So, yeah. I don't even remember Baisley even doing anything. I don't even know if he even played the last time he played them.
Yeah, I've never heard the name Baisley. This is the first time I'm hearing about him. So.
Yeah, so he went off, but it's almost part of just young energy. I feel like it's always young guys that get revved up to play against us, because especially like you said, against markets that don't get the TV time that we do. So Baisley, had a good game, and then Shea doing his thing with a 3 and 3 baskets, and KCP guarding him to start off, which it's a lot to ask. KCP is a good defender, but Shea is just like a young upcoming star, so he did good. But I expected just a little bit more though from LeBron in the first quarter because he had 1 basket and 1 free throw, and he had Dort guarding him. So
yeah, there was a lot of times where I just wanted him to just spin off because I feel like he can get past him whenever he wants. But I think he was just trying to get everyone involved just because AD's not there, Caruso's not there, so someone's got to step up. In the last game, he had to pretty much bail us out at the end and just have a crazy game, which he kind of did this game.
Yeah, because we've talked about it too. At some point, someone else has got to step up. So I think he understands too that this is the beginning of the season. We're going to make the playoffs regardless, right?
Yeah.
But if we make it and LeBron has to drop 30 every night, he's going to get worn out. So I think he understands that. But we do get guys involved. Like Trez had 3 baskets in that first quarter. Dennis got to the free throw line a few times. Kuz had a 3 and a basket. And KCP even got a basket, and then Marc Gasol, had a new haircut. So, that's good for Marc Gasol.
But that's about all you could say for that first
That's
quarter.
all I had down for Marc Gasol. New hair. That's it.
Man, it's new hair and still don't care. That's the problem with this man.
Still don't care.
He just not, I don't know. I think he does care, but.
You know what it is, too, with Marc Gasol tonight that I saw? Every single game, it looks like he's trying harder and harder. And I think he's aware that the trade deadline's coming up.
Yeah, he wants to stay in LA.
I think he knows, if there's any position the Lakers need to buff right now, it is a center.
Yeah,
so
I don't think he minds if we get another center without having to trade him, but he's just worried about, if they get one and then they want to get rid of me. Yeah. So,
well, we got a roster spot, so even if we did do a trade, he's just going to sit. So,
so he's probably just trying to hold on to whatever minutes he can, too.
Yeah, so, that first quarter, like I said, we went down by 10 early.
Yeah, they were just killing it in the paint.
In the paint. They had 14-4 at one point in the paint. And it's we've talked about it before, I think this is just our identity this year. The paint, it's just, with the starters at least, no one contests at the paint. Mark's there, but Mark doesn't jump. He just puts his hands up. So people, if you're a crafty finisher, all you got to do is get your arm around him and lay up the ball.
Yeah.
And then AD, when he's in there, he's not in the paint, and even if he's in the paint, it didn't look like he's jumping, but he was hurt.
Yeah,
the whole Achilles thing going on with him.
The tendinosis.
Tendinosis, So if you haven't been following any Laker news, AD's out with tendons issue. Yeah. And I mean, this have been like happening for a while, so that kind of explains why he looked so sluggish. Yeah,
it was making more sense of why he wasn't jumping every time in the paint. So I mean, hopefully they give him enough rest to recover because we definitely need that. But we also just need another big man because as good as Trez is, he gets bullied by the bigger guys. I feel like he's naturally a better power forward.
He's more of a scorer than a defender.
Yeah, and it's just because of the height, though. Yeah. He'll hustle, but he just doesn't have the height, to get up there sometimes. But yeah, so basically the story of that quarter, turnovers carried over from the last game, which we almost had like 30. And then the paint protection and bad coaching decisions, I'd say, because we could have. I feel like if we had Kuz in earlier, we probably could have had a better start. So yeah, so then second quarter, pretty much the bad paint protection, it was a whole thing for the whole game. So it's right there at the top of what I wrote down is bad paint protection continues, and it's just something like you said, it's our identity, but at the same time, going out there in the buyout market is going to be interesting. We talked about this a lot. To see what happens with Drummond, Whiteside, all these potential, big, not potentially big or not necessarily big names, but guys that can put a body in front better and more athletic than what we have.
Because I feel like this right now isn't hurting us, but we gotta get some boards.
Yeah,
because
it's not gonna hurt us against the Thunder.
Yeah,
but it's gonna destroy us against like a good team.
Yeah, because the Thunder pretty much are the worst offensive rebounding team by percentage, and tonight they destroyed the paint. But it's like I said, I mean, it's becoming just a theme for the Lakers. And I mean, the bench guys. They rebound. When you pin our bench guys in like Kuz, Trez, and Caruso, THT, they hustle for rebounds. So the starters, I'm at the point with the starters, like I'm okay with sending Dennis to the bench or KCP to the bench at this point because at this point we need more rebounding in our starting lineup and we need more defense. So
yeah, I guess with Schroeder, I know what you're saying, but I feel like with Schroeder, at least, I think he does enough offensively where it makes up for, and he has some defensive hustle, but I could see why you'd probably say like Caruso might need, that starting job for a while, maybe to get him, a little kick in the butt. Yeah. But THT for sure should probably be starting over KCP at this point.
I think so.
Because we saw this game, and we'll talk about more down the stretch, but Wesley Matthews looked like he wanted, he was remotivated, it seems like, for all those 4 games he didn't play. I didn't see that out of Keith. But I feel like Wesley woke up for this. He was like, I get my minutes this time. I'm gonna make sure they remember who I am. So, if we got to do that with KCP, maybe he'll work again on his shooting, and maybe it'll just be something we need. But
yeah, and in that quarter, basically, LeBron started off slow, but in that quarter, LeBron had 11 points.
Yeah, so he knew we needed that.
Yeah, he started to roll because it was kind of getting out of hand. Like I said, I mean, everyone on their side was pretty much either getting like putbacks or threes. So and he had Diallo with 3 baskets and 2 free throws,
yeah, he started doing his thing.
He shouldn't even be scoring, in my opinion, and then you got, Shea with 2 baskets.
And I mean, the inevitable run again, 0 points in 6 minutes in that quarter. And it's
every game, dude.
It's just weird. Like we talked about it, like in basketball, 6 minutes is a lifetime. Like
that's half a quarter.
For us to not score for that amount of time with the offensive, I mean, we couldn't buy a bucket at one point, but I mean, we had some good looks, but I don't know. It's not even just this game, though. Like, this game, I feel like we had good looks. Yeah. And then sometimes it feels like we're just not creating anything.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like... Well, because I feel like this is the problem, too. We talk about coaching, right? I feel like there's just points where Vogel will have guys in that are just cold. Or just, like, Morris, right? He hadn't played for, like, 4 or 5 games. And then...
And he plays almost...
And then plays them, like, almost the entire game over, like, Kuz or Trez or THT. It's like... You need to have guys in that are gonna, get you easy buckets and stuff like that, easy layups and stuff like that. And those are like Trez and Kuz and THC that do that, because I feel like if LeBron's not scoring in those moments, and you have like KCP and Marc Gasol and even Dennis in there or Morris, like it's just hard to have someone else score. You know what I'm saying? Especially if other people aren't rolling. Like KCP, like we talked about before, he's a volume guy. He shot, I think in the fourth quarter they talked about it, he had like 5 shots.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
So
And the thing is too, like we're leaving players in that aren't scoring and they're cold, but then we're keeping players on the bench that come into the game with no confidence because they haven't been even in the game, in the flow of the game. So
yeah, it's crazy, and tonight what I like to see though with the bench, starting with Kuz too. The thing I like about Kuz, even if he's not scoring, he offers other things like block shots tonight, right? He had one on Horford where Horford got past him and just sent that thing off the glass, right?
Yeah.
That's all hustle. That's all like, I want to be here, I want to try,
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that is that last year we didn't see that. If he couldn't score, it's like he just disappeared in the game.
Yeah.
So now it's like he's earning the minutes of, like I brought it up before, like a Trevor Ariza type of player. Like he can knock down his shots, he can play defense, and he doesn't give up on rebounds.
No.
So that's amazing to see from Kuz, and it's cool to see him make that leap from one year to the next because last year he wasn't rebounding like this.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, like we said, I mean we went on that bad stretch. We let Bazley continue he had a double-double in the first half, 17 and 10.
Bazley, dude.
And like I said, I had never heard of this guy. So
Bazley, I thought that was just a seasoning, right? Because what is that? What's the season I'm talking about? The little Barsley?
Barsley, I think that's what it is. Anyway,
that guy has a name for seasoning.
Forgive us for our lack of education on seasonings.
Give me some Bazley on this bread, please.
the Thunder want all the Bazley they can get on their shit now.
They were sprinkling that thing in there. Get the Bazley.
So we got so basically, like we said, first half notes, bad paint protection, and I mean it's even worse without AD because at least with AD, like he's a body. Even if he wasn't jumping every time with his injury that he had, at least he's in there. So we noticed that a lot. The turnovers continued, and missing open shots. But yeah, so going in the third, opening this quarter, I mean Mark gets a nice assist, so at least we know Mark can still pass.
Mark, he even had like a crazy rebound that I seen that like was on the break, and he was actually running tonight. So I was just like, all right, Mark, I see you.
Because he has this thing where at first it looks like he's not going anywhere, but then he starts sprinting out of nowhere. Like he starts it up and then he just goes, Dude,
it's funny. It's like his arms they start pumping, and he's like, okay, buddy.
Like I kept yelling at the screen, run.
It's time to run. That's how we think Mark sounds. It's time to run.
We know he's not rushing, but we don't. I don't know. It's just a thing we do.
It just fits him.
I run now.
My legs move fast when they want.
Man. So, I mean, even with him making plays, though, I still kept asking myself, or asking, in my head, is like, why isn't Harold? Because
that third quarter, bro, Kuz, THT, and I don't think Harold even played the whole third quarter, but they didn't come in until like 4 minutes left in the quarter.
And when they did come in, though, we started, like, all I wrote down was Kuz and THT need more minutes because
that's what I wrote
it's
down
just
too.
Energy, man. Like, as good as Wesley was shooting tonight, he doesn't attack the paint the way THT does. No. He doesn't defend. I don't see him as like a lanky defender the way THT is because he doesn't have the body. So with THT and Kuz, it's like you get so much more than keeping Keith and Wesley Matthews out there.
Yeah.
So
because I mean at that point, usually we have LeBron out there, and we would have AD out there probably at this point, right? I feel like those guys could score. Yeah. So you need the guys who are going to do the dirty work. Because if you have KCP out there, or let's say if we have Marc Gasol, or tonight Morris, play a little bit, those guys are not doing the dirty work. We have the guy that could score. We don't need those guys out there. Get the guys that are going to do the dirty work, get some easy baskets, get some blocks, play some good defense. So once again, we're talking about Vogel. I don't know if Vogel just wants to try to look smarter than he is.
Yeah, I was telling you during the game, I'm like, maybe it's an ego thing. Maybe he's like, I don't get as much credit being LeBron and AD's coach because they did, everyone's going to give them credit. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's ego or what, but he just does things that if us as fans can see him, then he should be able to see him. His coaches that are underneath him, like Jason Kidd and our other coaching staff, they should be able to say, yo, like, I don't know why we started Keith this game or Wesley. I mean, Wesley paid off at the end, but we, haven't we talked about this? Like THT is the guy.
Why do you have Mark playing 8 minutes of the third quarter? Marc Gasol, he was the last one out of the starters to get out of the third quarter. Like, I don't get why you play him so long. Like, it makes no sense.
Because this game in particular, too, they didn't have a dominant big. Like, we didn't need
Horford is, like, old and slow already. And Trez started off hot. So why not roll with him and let him keep going?
And I mean, as lacking in size that he is, he's athletic enough to make plays, Like, I mean, Horford kind of backed him down, got some hooks. He even did that over LeBron a few times. But, I mean, I'd rather have the offensive hustle of Trez and rebounding hustle of him than keeping Mark for
He does long. Way more than Mark, and then on the other side, just offensive rebounds. Yeah, like the entire time. Like in that quarter, they had another like 4. I think at that point they're already at 11. Yeah. So. And there's even some rebounds where we would get it, and they would just knock it out. Like we were not aware of like, hey, like it's almost like you're not securing the rebound first. It's almost like people were grabbing it and looking down court without securing first, and it was getting like knocked out. So it's like those things need to be addressed because
and just the end of that quarter, we had gone up by 7, but then they finished the quarter on a 16-2 run in 4 minutes. Like. We scored 2 points in 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes of that quarter.
And 16 points in 4 minutes? That's a lot of points, bro. Like, some people will score like 20-something in a quarter. Yeah. They scored 16 in 4 minutes.
So, again, just energy. And we pretty much talked about this. It's like the rotation thing, though, because as soon as Kuz comes in, he gets a poster, like, putback dunk.
Yeah, he put an end to that run, the 16-2 run.
And so, pretty much, it's just like making it harder on the team because Vogel's deciding not to put in the guys that need to be in. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's making it harder on us on the team with Vogel in his rotations. But going into the fourth, we did start to turn things around. But the struggles in the paint continued, defending that. And but Schroeder, he did really good, like closing out the game. So I like to see that because they had their point guard Shea. He was just. Man, I'm just glad the Clippers don't have him anymore. Because
Shea went off with 2 threes, a basket, and 3 free throws in that quarter. Yeah, so and the threes were big too. They were hard threes.
He made a crazy like 2K leaning 3 almost out of bounds. Yeah, like the way it was falling. So I mean that was crazy. But then Wesley, that's what we talked about. He pays off. He hits a clutch shot, and I mean that's what we signed him for. 3 and D.
This is the Wesley we wanted. So maybe because I could see I could kind of figure out how Vogel's going to be. I could guarantee you that Wesley's going to play the next game because of tonight.
And he's probably going to get more minutes than THT.
And he's probably going to get more minutes than THT. He'll probably get around the same minutes as probably Kuz and Trez. He might even get more. Yeah. You never know just how.
So that's the double-edged sword of that. It's like it's cool to see Wesley finally do it, but it's like, dang, now THT's going to suffer for it. But hopefully...
I still rather see THT and Kuz in there over Wesley.
And Keith.
And Keith. I don't even know what's going on with that. But Morris, did he even scratch tonight? I don't think he even scored.
No, I don't think so. Oh, no, wait, you know what? I think he hit 1-3. Like, I remember him hitting 1. Yeah, when LeBron, threw it across court.
He got maybe. 1. No, I think that was Wesley Matthews that hit that.
Okay.
So I don't even think, Morris scratched tonight, which is crazy to even think. I want to just, look at the minutes, too, real fast, but...
Oh, he actually scored 6 points.
Did he?
Yeah, in 26 minutes, though. So look at this. I mean, he scored 6 points, 4 rebounds, 26 minutes. THT actually had 27 minutes with 8 points, 1 assist, and 5 rebounds. So, I mean, that's the thing, too. Is you see the comparison between, obviously, Wesley Matthews outperformed in this game for THT, but now he might even lose minutes to Keith just because technically he scored I don't know. He didn't do too much more than him, but
But still, though, like I said, Wesley Matthews and Chief Keef, they pretty much haven't played for 4 games.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. You guys have probably realized this already, but I'm one of the biggest Kyle Kuzma fans out there. I think Kyle Kuzma is probably one of the hardest workers on this team. Yeah. And he ends up with the second to least amount of minutes behind Marc Gasol.
Yeah, and he wasn't he was missing threes this game. But
he offers so much more.
Yeah, but it's not just him. It's not just what we depend on him for.
Everyone missed threes tonight, by the way, too. Yeah. If you look at our percentage, everyone missed threes.
Yeah, we didn't start making threes till the end, too.
Yeah, so, like I said, I don't know. If I was Kuzma, I would be kind of discouraged because it's I do all this hustle stuff for you.
And I miss a few shots, and then I'm out.
Yeah, and I miss a few shots, and, I just feel because we've talked about the closing lineup we want to see.
Yeah, when we're all healthy, we want to see Caruso out there with THT, Kuzma, LeBron, and AD. Yeah. And I mean, you can mix and match with Caruso and Dennis if he's having a good game. Yeah. But that's I think people call that the death lineup for us. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not as prominent because we don't use it enough. But I feel like that lineup right there has shown that they can close games and win. That was the Boston. We beat Boston with that lineup. Yeah. And they're just productive. You get everything. You get defense. You get passing. Yeah. You get scoring. it's just too good to be passing up. So for us to see this though, and Kuz doesn't even really play in the last like quarter and then eventually overtime.
Yeah.
Like I think he finally made it in overtime, but it's just not to us. Like we said, it's like he gives so much to the team. Like why are you gonna sit him when especially with AD out? Like why is he getting less minutes than Markieff Morris?
Yeah, I think if you don't pick KCP back in, and even Morris got in on that fourth quarter, I believe, and you could keep West because he was kind of hot, but if you don't pick KCP back in, I think we probably win this game. We don't even go to overtime because KCP didn't even like make a shot in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, and since OKC was doing so much hustle on rebounds, we could have used that from Kuz too.
Yeah. Some box out, some rebounds, so...
It's just some bonehead stuff sometimes.
Basically, man.
But, I mean, so yeah, basically we were up by 3, and then Shea gets that foul on the 3, so sends it to overtime. And back-to-back overtimes, and it's scary, man, because we talked about it, like the way you told me, like with LeBron playing so many minutes. It's just back-to-back, or double overtime the last game.
Yeah.
And then overtime this game. So...
He looking tired, man, like... And it's just too much to put on him, especially against a team like OKC that we should be blowing out. Like he should not have to be going into overtime against Detroit and then OKC.
It would be different
this hard.
Yeah, it'd be different if we're playing playoff teams and doing this. But like we said, Vogel's making it harder than it needs to be. It's a rotation thing. LeBron doesn't have to be scoring 2 back-to-back triple doubles too. Like, I mean, I get it. LeBron's hustles. He does everything, but we shouldn't have to depend on that. Like there's too much weight to carry at 36 years old, and we're only like not even halfway in.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's like you're not even leaning on your young guys that you could probably run a little more. Yeah. You're pitting out your older guys to like run a lot, like Marc Gasol and Morris and Wesley.
And I've heard too that like Vogel's a veterans coach, but like you can't ignore production.
Yeah.
Like I hope the next game, because we play the Thunder again.
Yeah.
I would want AD to sit out again just because I'm concerned about the Achilles thing.
Yeah.
So if he sits out again, I hope we see different rotations, because if we don't, then it's just him being way too stubborn or way too egotistical. But I mean, it ended well. We ended up winning the game with a lot of defense in the overtime. Like,
because there wasn't much scoring in overtime.
Yeah, we didn't let them really score, but we were doing our thing. Wesley hit another 3, playing some defense. He got some blocks in the game too overall, but
he did.
Yeah, so I mean, we escaped with it. Yeah, so I mean. It's like we said, though. Like, we escaped with this one. We escaped with the Pistons, but we shouldn't barely be beating these teams. Yeah. So,
we'll have to see, man, because, I mean, at some point, obviously, as Laker fans, we're super confident in our team. But at some point, we got to be unbiased and say, maybe this isn't going to be the cakewalk we think it's going to be, because... Obviously, AD's having this injury going on. We don't even know what's going to happen with that. That could be a lingering injury through the whole season. Yeah, so we don't know what's happening with that. LeBron's playing all these minutes, so he might get tired, And
or worst case scenario, knock on wood, but he might get hurt, and it's not even like as a player, he wants to be out there. AD's going to want to be out there, but
I think that's where Vogel needs to just be a coach. Pull LeBron, because I'm pretty sure LeBron's on him in the huddle's like, hey, I'm not going out.
Yeah.
But he needs to just do what's best for him and just be like, no, I'm going to pull you. I don't need you to, give everything in a game.
Or even if he doesn't want to have to be so stern about it, just say, look, I want to see our young guys get some confidence so we can beat this team without you having to go for another triple-double. You know? So, I mean, with AD, it's concerning with the injury. With Vogel and his rotations, that's concerning. It's a lot of concerns, but... Hopefully, in the long run, we're able to get it. Like we said, we need another big man.
Definitely.
We need our rotations to be better, and I mean that's pretty much the most of our concerns there. And obviously, we need LeBron and AD to get more rest. So, so I mean that's about it for this game. But we'll see you guys in the next episode. And if you're new here, like we said in the last one, give us some feedback. Or if you're always watching these videos.
Subscribe,
Yeah, subscribe.
It's just a little click, just subscribe. That's all you gotta do.
You could even put that bell on, that notification bell. Then you'll get that instant notification.
You're really crazy about this. Yeah, do that bell.
But we just need. We appreciated the one comment we got last time because it was cool to interact with someone. So if you guys listen to this,
if you're listening, bro, or girl, we just see ER. We don't know agenda here. You know,
if you're here, leave us another comment. You know, ask some more. Let us know what you're concerned about. You know, we just want to interact with people that listen to us because it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see you guys next time. And like we said, like, comment, share, subscribe. Remember to follow us on Twitter at LakeShow Flow. Instagram coming soon, which I need to get on. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Be safe, Lake Nation.